Coming up next is DC News number 109. It's an all-American vampire update. We're going to talk about the next big story arc coming up in American Vampire, The Blacklist. And we're also going to talk about the miniseries that's coming out, American Vampire, Lord of Nightmares. And we're going to talk a little bit about Stephen King and whether or not he's ever going to come back to that book again. All that and more coming right up.
When DC Comic Books does something, Bo just can't wait to tell you. Squealer.
I can only text while I'm driving. DC Comic Book News, episode 109, Frisbee of Confusion.
Hey folks, Comic Book Man here. Welcome once again to my video outhouse. Bo!
Yes?
Tell them.
It's time for DC News number 109, boys and girls.
DC News 109, which is coming to you from this place, Alternate Reality, located at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie, in beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood. Alternate Reality, where all my new comics, including all my Vertigo comics, are always 15% off every day for everyone. This is going to be an all-American Vampire update. That's right, nothing but American Vampire. If you don't like American Vampire, hit the skids! Hit the skids, because we ain't talking about nothing else. But if you like American Vampire, this is the place. Anyway, American Vampire number 28 will be the start of what story arc?
A new arc called The Blacklist. The arc shows something that happened between Henry and Pearl that leads into Pearl deciding whether or not she wants to avenge him being attacked with the help of Skinner Sweet and go back to Hollywood where she left after she was found by vampires in the first arc of the series.
How is American Vampire doing? You've been keeping up more with the series.
It's selling relatively well.
No, I mean story-wise.
Oh, no, he's held together quite well. I mean, Snyder's done a really good job. He keeps things moving. He keeps things going. And by the way, Stephen King's never coming back to work on the book, for all you wondering. It's not happening. He's a little busy. He's got all these books and stuff and a kid and his kids.
Yes.
But it's very popular.
Well, yes. That's what I was going to ask you.
It's probably the
about
most...
the sales.
Sales, I think it probably... What does it sell for you? Does it sell better than Hellblazer?
It's one of the better... Well, what doesn't
okay.
What Vertigo title doesn't sell better?
Does it sell better than Fables?
Neck and neck. It's actually probably a little bit ahead of Fables. Fables is essentially DC's best-selling Vertigo title, if for no other reason than it's had Jack of Fables, and now it has Fairest, and of course the regular Fables book, and a couple other spin-offs. American Vampires just had one miniseries, and that was just American Vampire in World War II. But it's sort of neck and neck with Fables. It's sort of neck and neck with Fables. Okay. Next story, American Vampire Limited Series. As I just mentioned before, they're getting a second one, and this one's going to be called American Vampire Lord of Nightmares. I'm scared already.
You're not scared.
No, I'm not.
Suck it up. It'll be set in Western Europe, and it'll star the human vampire-killing vassals Lyndon Hobbs and Felicia Book facing off against the dangerously evil and sadistic Carpathian vampire.
What's a Carpathian vampire?
Those are the vampires that are involved in American Vampire.
Oh, Carpathian.
Those are the vampires. Yes, they're Carpathians.
Okay.
Scott Snyder will be writing it, and Dustin
You can tell
Nguyen,
I read the book religiously.
He doesn't have time to read all this stuff. Dustin Nguyen will actually team up, so Nguyen's going to do the art, and it's interesting because people have gone... He's a guy. Nguyen's the kind of guy who's tried to do superhero stuff, and people don't really buy his superhero stuff because he's not natural at it. Yeah. So this is maybe a book better suited to his talents. Although Nguyen's run on Batman was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with his art. There's nothing wrong with his art. It's just not to everybody's taste.
Yeah,
for superheroes.
For superheroes, I mean, a Superman from him would look really, really weird.
Yes.
He could work on something like Batman. He could work on something maybe like Hawkman. But if he was working on Wonder Woman,
something moodier. Something moodier.
Yeah, something with atmosphere. Maybe he'd been doing
like
the Shade.
American Vampire.
Maybe if he's doing the Shade, it would have sold better.
Maybe if someone got out and pushed it, it would sell better too.
DC doesn't push their books. He just assumes you're supposed to find them.
What?
Take a crack at Archie.
Why isn't Stephen King coming back to American Vampire? You mentioned that in the last story.
Stephen King has...
I mean, obviously he's busy, but...
He has these novels to write. And actually, the only reason he did that first arc in the first place was to help Snyder get his foot in the door at DC because they were in a writing group together.
Okay.
And he came in with a bunch of ideas, and he said, Snyder talks to King all the time, and they joke around and stuff, but he doesn't have time in his schedule to come back and work on an arc anytime soon because he's a busy guy.
Okay. Well, that's perfectly understandable. And that's it. We're done. We're finished. We're out of here. We got no more American Vampire DC news. But go to the store's website, and you can check out all of Bo's news that he sends me that I post up there, Bo.
I post them from Carpathia, by the way. And then Sarah tells you where the website is right now. Tell them!
Honesty, integrity, wisdom, and truth. Hey, that's for beer. www.myalternatereality.com. It's a source of mindless distraction.
So stop off at the store's website, check out all his news. Until next time, this is me.
This is me.
Saying Bye!
Thanks for the memory.
You guys are Carpathian.
The 20th every month is Founders Day here at Alternate Reality, and on the 20th, you can save 20% off everything I've got in the store. All my comics, trade paperbacks, action figures, statues, posters, supplies, gaming stuff, everything is 20% off on the 20th, except for this week's shipping and my buy-in-bulk supplies, but everything else is 20% off. So stop on down to Alternate Reality on the 20th of every month and save yourself 20% off.
The Video Outhouse is brought to you by some of the finest people willing to work for free. This is a list of some of them.